Hey guys, CJ here, and well, late breaking news in this HNN News Flash. We might have actually gotten our first official review of Batman v Superman. Now, take this with a grain of salt. It comes from a reviewer named Box Office Z on Box Office Theory forums, and I'm actually pretty convinced by this, not only because he delves into a lot of very specific things about the movie, praises things like the sound mixing and the CGI, a lot of very specific things that would be pretty hard to make up. The other thing is, he's been on this forum since 2011, and a lot of times, like violating NDA's Reddit thing, that's a throwaway. A lot of times people will make a throwaway account just to make up fake stuff, no repercussions because it's just a temporary account. This guy used his actual account, and that to me says that he's not scared of it, and he stands by it, he's very proud of it. Because this could definitely come back and hurt him. He's a very active member on this forum. So let's get down to the business. I'll say first and foremost, this is a very, very positive review. This guy absolutely loved the movie. And let's talk about tone first. He says the tone is dark, but it's not without humor, way more than Man of Steel or Watchmen had. And that might surprise some people, because in the first couple of trailers it looked pretty dark, but then they've kind of added the humor in, sprinkled it in as we go along. He often compares it to a graphic novel, specifically when Batman v Superman, or Batman and Superman I should say, when they interact. And speaking of interacting, how about the fights? Well, he says for most audiences, the fights will be worth the price of admission alone. He says, actually, that is not just limited to Batman fighting Superman. Wonder Woman is incredible when she's in action, and apparently her fight with Doomsday is something to behold. And speaking of Gal Gadot's performance, he acknowledges there was a lot of skepticism both in audiences and fans and around the industry, but she has completely won him over. He's very excited for Wonder Woman's solo film. He thought Gal Gadot really kind of stole the show here. Speaking of stealing the show, another person he really heaped a lot of praise on was Ben Affleck's Batman. He said, first and foremost, his relationship with Alfred is one of the highlights of the movie, and Jeremy Irons' Alfred is very, very cool. And he said, Ben Affleck's Batman, and this is really, really key to me. He's really good, and he's dark. He uses the word awesome a lot to describe Ben Affleck's portrayal as Batman, but one thing in his review that caught my eye, and I'm paraphrasing here, essentially, a big difference between Bale's Batman and his is, Bale eventually wanted to give up the cowl. Bale's Batman eventually his Bruce was eventually going to retire. It wasn't a permanent thing. Bruce is driven, and he sees Batman as a part of him that really can't be exorcised or reconciled. He's going to keep being Batman until it kills him, is what I'm inferring in that. And he kind of describes Bruce in this way. He's very haunted by his past, and it seems like not only what happened to him as a child, seeing his parents get killed, but also what's happened to him over his career as Batman. And that is just something that drives him further. It's something that keeps him going. And he fights very much like the Arkham games, which I know some of you guys, like Slick Moth, Caboose XBL, you guys are going to love that. We all saw that kind of in that most recent trailer. It seemed like when he was fighting those thugs, he was, I guess I was corrected. He's not RKOing people, but he's beating the shit out of people either way. What about Superman? Cavill's performance was a big stumbling block for a lot of people with Man of Steel. Man of Steel kind of had its issues in writing, I guess you could say, and Cavill kind of suffered for some fans because of that. Well, he says he, kind of ironically enough, the writing is very much improved, he says, but Cavill he has a lot more to work with, even with less screen time. It seems like maybe Terrio really did a number on that, because apparently Cavill really, really shines, and he feels like, he's a guy that is now kind of haunted by Man of Steel's destruction. Well, maybe not haunted, but it follows him wherever he goes. It's impacted his character very deeply, which is, if you've been listening to this channel for a long time, that is something that I wanted very deeply from this movie. And what about our villain? He says Eisenberg's Luthor is perfect. That is a direct quote. He says Eisenberg is perfect as Luthor. And that's kind of interesting to me. And it's kind of, I'm kind of seeing a pattern here. Despite his appearance, both literally and figuratively in terms of how he presents himself to the world, he is very deceptive, and I quote, he describes him as a very scary person, and he does not let that scary persona kind of be seen by the public. Overall, this reviewer has yet to figure out a final grade. He settles it as somewhere above a B+. He says he'll get back to that later. It seems like the audiences in his screening were very, very, very excited for it, and they were overwhelmingly positive as well. So above a B+, more than I, could have, not more than I could have possibly imagined, but better than I was at least, kind of expecting. Anything above a B plus is going to be great. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below, and please, please, please go check out this post. There was a ton more there that I did not even delve into, just to brush by the most important Cliff's Notes that I'm trying to give you right here. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. 1, do you believe this is legit? And 2, are you more excited for what he's saying? That about wraps it up for me here, signing off. This is CJ, and I'll see you for tomorrow's HNN.